Hello and namaste yet again to an enterprising episode with someone who's been a veteran of many fields. I've known him personally for decades, but proud to be a relative of this young man, as I may put it, Commander Pradeep Dixit. He's an experienced naval aviator, a veteran with vast experience in aviation, shipping, logistics, defense, and emergency management. With 2 decades of distinguished service in the Indian Navy and 3 decades of corporate experience, a Shaurya Chakra Gallantry Award winner, and still going strong. He's always the youngest man in the room, even though he's 70 plus. Welcome to our little conversation today here. I'm so glad you've agreed to give a bit of your very, very busy time to us. Thank you, Commander Dixit.
You're always welcome, Doc.
So I'd like to start with your career trajectory. It's been so impressive from where to where. And could you just walk us through your journey from a young naval aviator to your current role in the corporate world? What are the moments that have shaped your career? And also talk to us about your leadership style while you're telling us all this.
Well, thanks a lot for having me over for this discussion. Well, like you mentioned, I did start my career as a young pilot with the Navy. As always, wanted to do something different now. People do join the Navy, people do become pilots. So I wanted to do both together. So I was one of the very few earlier naval pilots. And I remember that how I got inspired was because way back 60s when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, he was asked by the media, what are the most difficult things you have ever done before coming to the moon? So his answer was land on a moving ship. So landing on an airport is different. On a ship, it's tough. And that too, if it's a helicopter, it becomes more tough because all are totally unstable. So anyway, I joined that and did 20 years or 23 years with the Navy and commanded various ships. In between, got a chance to go to the South Pole, Antarctica for 2 trips as a team leader, became an instructor. But I always had the hunger for doing something more in life, not only my profession. So I decided to switch over to the corporate world. And thereafter, I have done a big tenure with the bigwigs of the USA. That is, one was a defense company, Oshkosh, then with the GE Capital. Thereafter shifted when I got a stage where I thought I had delivered adequately and I need to learn more. I shifted on to airport management, then to defense management. And today I'm heading one of the company's roles as a director for corporate support into various fields. So that was my big basket. And I still am a very good learner. So I don't want to just stop here. I want to keep learning. Today only we had a meeting with one of the suppliers of something very, very unique, which I can't reveal just now, which is going to be of very good use for stopping the flooding in places like Mumbai, whether it's your factories, whether it's houses, airports, important installations. So it's a foreign company which is tied up. So I'm going to start pushing from after 5 o'clock now to get into the business of saving people's property, saving people's lives, which I was always part of emergency services. So that's so I would not call it the trajectory, because in a trajectory, it stops at a time. I want to continue and reach till deliver till whatever I can. So that's my nutshell background to be like that. And you talked about the leadership qualities. Yes, I would say that I'm not overconfident. I'm quite believing in confidence. And I allow myself to be amongst the company of empowering people and who do their best so I can learn from them. I would say I'm more of a facilitator than a dictator. And yes, one of the other things that my leadership qualities, a bit of little humor never hurts. and I think especially in all stressful conditions. So that's my style of, you can say, leadership, if you call it.
Amazing, amazing. So inspiring. In fact, very recently, a very, very well-known celebrity movie star said that you have to be completely stressed out to be successful. You have to be, at a space of complete, your mind has to be restless to be successful. Do you agree to comments like this?
I think it's totally agreeable. In fact, I have had my fair share of challenges over the years, but I've learned that the adversity can be a powerful, or you can call it a catalyst for growth. It's like in your medical terms, it's like a muscle. The more you test it, stronger it becomes. And a little humor again can help you put your chin up. So I can hide my, what do you call it, second, third neck or whatever. But, so it's always a challenge. I think challenges are very, very important because I believe in lifelong learning. And I think whether it is a new product, a new place, unless you are in stress, you cannot deliver the best. Or maybe simply trying a hobby. I think this is what keeps me young at heart, to keep trying and be stress-free, basically.
Amazing. Your Gallantry Awards are a testament to your courage and dedication. Could you share a memorable experience or incident that led to this award?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't like to take all the time describing. I'm a twice Gallantry Award winner, but the one which I can put it in a few minutes is one of my trips to the South Pole expedition, where we were challenged with a stressful situation to saving someone's life by opening up a friend on a dining table for his duodenal ulcer, which is not my forte. We had a surgeon on board, but no anesthetist, nothing. So the full night he kept on convincing me that I have to help him operate. I can cut chicken, mutton, but not a human being. I've not reached that level. So the government of India had banned us from flying because the weather is very bad in South Pole area and we only had a single engine aircraft. But I thought, let me try and do something which I know. So full night I could not sleep and I convinced my co-pilot, and without telling the government of India, I took the helicopter along with the patient and the doctor to a very far off German base where he survived, and basically he's still living today. Obviously, I had to face all the flack of breaking rules, safety norms, but that was for a reason. So I said I was ready to. That is the time when the international forum found out that in Antarctica people are dying. 4 people had died in our exhibition, also in our expedition that time. And here there's one single pilot, single engine, who thinks he was God's own creation. He's taken the aircraft and himself to the limits. He would have been dead himself. So the Foreign Antarctic Regions Council in America wrote a telex to that time the president, Mr. Venkatraman, who was, I still remember, in 89-90, that they wanted to, felicitate me with honors for doing something very, very good. Where the government of India was trying to pin me down, maybe court-martial me for breaking the rules. Here there was the International Guild who won. So suddenly, from zero, I became a hero. When I had a special investor ceremony in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and the rest is history. So that's got me the Shaurya Chakra. So I believed in my machine, believed in the men who maintained the machine, believed in myself, and drove myself to the limits, regardless whether I would have been dead or alive, but I saved someone. So that's what the incident here.
I mean, inspiring to be able to save. I mean, being in the armed forces, you all go out every day to save, the country and to, protect your countrymen. But to be able to even save that one life and you would always put your life ahead of another person's. I know you, the person that you are. But what was it in your growing up years that shaped this in you to be able to put your foot forward and go out and help? Is there something that you saw growing up, some incidents that shaped your persona?
I would, there can't be one incident. There may have been many in the younger days to be able to strike that work-life balance, like you call it. And I think it was always my inner aim to do whatever I do to its fullest. Whether it is skipping a class and going and watching a movie, I will do it to the fullest. I will not stop at that. Whether it is trying to achieve something, I mean, regardless of the end result, I wanted to do the best what my gut feeling says. And your medical terms, I mean, I think the gut always feels the senses much earlier than maybe your brains and this thing. You get a gut feeling, you eat, you don't eat, you do what thing. So I would say that was one of the things. And I have kept this always that I've always kept, work and life balanced. Like it's like a delicate dance. I'm not a good dancer, but I've kept it like a good delicate dance because it is about finding the rhythm that works for you. So that was the rhythm which worked for me to extremely go to the. I shouldn't feel bad that I never tried this. That's why maybe I failed. It's better to try the extreme and then fail and learn from those mistakes because it's a lifelong lesson which I've learned over the period of my childhood. And since the world keeps changing, I have to acquire newer skills. Maybe I wouldn't do that now when I'm grown up age, but I have gone through all this and I realized that the power of building a strong relationship with your own self and fostering the the environment is the key. So I wouldn't say it's a particular incident. It has been a growth with all my, blessings from my seniors, my parents, my senior relatives, looking at my younger friends and relatives who have excelled in life. I've learned always something from them. So I have adapted and been resilient, I would say, basically.
Excellent. You brought up a very, very important point of conversation, which is what our channel is all about, the mind-body-intellect integration towards holistic wellness. So what we believe at Studio Aesthetic is that when the mind, body and intellect all are in sync, the person can become Hanumanji. We say Hanumanji had an MBA because his mind, body and Atma, mind, body and Atma were all integrated, and so he could achieve peaks of success. And I think similarly with you, but tell me, you are in the corporate sector today and you deal with a lot of the younger generation. Somewhere the younger generation is losing the deeper friendships, the deeper meaning of loving people around us. What do you advise them? Because that relationship, they're becoming very centered towards achieving success in their career, but somewhere in that they're falling out in relationship keeping, in giving enough time to themselves. You also mentioned about getting to know yourself. Like, we all should spend some time in internal pursuits because in the end, our journey is a very individual, by ourselves journey. We need to befriend ourselves before we befriend another person. So, and if you can't spend great time in your own company, how would you expect others to enjoy your company? So, keeping that in mind, Commander, I'd like to ask you, what is it that you, when you're having training sessions, tell the younger generation, how do they maintain a better work-life balance? What are the things you have incorporated? Do you have a fixed work schedule? And do you do things to keep yourself happy? What are the things that you enjoy doing besides your grueling hours of work?
See, I mean, the first section first, I think for the young people, obviously there is a big gap between the importance towards relationship building. So they have to do that because eventually you will be alone. And it's only when you're born, initially, if you feel alone, when you die, you'll be alone. So in between is a time you can have the maximum interaction with friends, regardless of what you have your goals to be set. But you have to have a positive impact in all these things. And I would say that advice is that they need to be patient, they need to be authentic. Like they say, I mean, being a successful person or being a leader doesn't mean that you have to be the loudest person in the room. So they are the ones, they have to strive towards success, make mistakes, don't be scared of making mistakes, but learn from the mistake. And don't be shy to voice your opinion. Don't be just a yes man, or don't be a 9 to 5, you just come here, do your work and go back. don't carry the problems home. Same way, don't carry your home problems to the office. But whatever you're doing, I think to remain focused and to contribute to the initiatives are very important for the growth. So human relations is a very, very important aspect, whether when you see people flying or when I'm telling my juniors of the ropes of the business, or main other thing is that hobby. Give time to yourself, like you said. You must not stop dreaming like a child. Like I remember my senior members of the family and even young relatives like you all always say, come on, when will you grow up? Stop behaving like a child. But that's what keeps me going. Unless you dream, you cannot achieve something. You can never be satisfied. You should not be satisfied. So I would say that they have to be, be mentored properly, have a good impact of legacy. That's only they'll get aspired to become future leaders. And take the risk. I mean, you should pass on the good achieved to the juniors, and anything negative to be anything negative which you have achieved as a company, take the blame on your own self. Don't be afraid to take the flak, I would always say.
Awesome. And you do a great job of balancing your professional life with your passions and your interests. What do you do? How do you do that?
Okay. When you say my passion and interest is, I love to travel at a drop of a hat. So I am always the first one to volunteer for any job which requires travel. Then the most important thing is humor. I look at everything in a very lighter way. So I'll never get hurt, obviously. The other part, I would say a bit of humility should always be there. And I think the big heart to forgive. I am a big guy of following forgiveness to the extent that people might start saying, oh, you have been used. If I have to be used, let it be. I mean, but at least let the others learn from it, I would say. Pastime in relation to travel, what a decent number of hours spent in watching plays, music. When I was back in school, I used to play for a beat group. I had a band along with that in school. We failed miserably. We never performed very well. But even today, I can listen to any type of music, and even when I'm at home doing nothing, the music always continues. So that's my passion, I would say. My aim in my life is to leave the world without anyone who comes across me to say, oh, there's Commander, let's avoid him. That would be my biggest failure. So I want to be, not that I want to be well-spoken when I'm gone, but I would like to be, people should not mind spending time if they have the inclination and convenience to spend time with me, sharing experiences, learning from youngsters. I think that's what my passion is, to learn more and more.
Tell me, the external appearance of yours does not befit a 70-year-old. Definitely not. You could easily pass away for someone in his mid-50s. But your insides, do they also feel as young, or do you, at the end of the day, begin to feel the weight of the years?
I would say, maybe a couple of 2-3 years ago, I would say that I was leaning towards the side where I was enjoying a lot, working a lot, traveling a lot, eating, drinking. Then suddenly, maybe with age and guidance from doctors like you, I started being, not that I eat less or doing that, I started becoming more disciplined, time-wise, sleep-wise. So I've stopped feeling the drain. I've stopped feeling uncomfortable. I've stopped feeling the bloating feeling. And yes, it is showing on my body. It is showing in my attitude. I still, like if today I had a meeting, I could have got up at, say, 8 o'clock, but I still get up at 6. I may do nothing, but the routine has been set. So I've become more disciplined, more choosy, and enjoying myself. So I'm not feeling, at all old. And yes, hopefully, because I always, when I pray every morning to God for giving me the life continuously over the last so many years, I always have started adding a wee bit that give me at least 6 months notice before I have to head back, because I want to do so many more things in the last 6 months. Maybe say sorry to someone, maybe pat someone on the back, maybe share something with someone. I want to go, in fact, odd thing maybe to confess, I don't even know sharing with anyone. In the last 2-3, I would say few hours, whenever I've been alone, I've actually started collecting photographs of my own time and with my friends and relatives and people. It's as good as I'm saying I'm preparing a nice collage for my prayer meeting whenever it happens. So my family doesn't have to look for my photograph. So I look at it positive. They don't look negative.
That's
So
insane.
I don't want you to show. I don't want you to show a photograph which I didn't like when I was alive. So I'll give you the photograph which I want. So that is
insane. That's insane. But very quickly before we end up,
yeah, sure.
do you have any bucket list things that you still would need to take and you'd want to share your daredevilry bucket list items with us? What are the things you still want to do?
You'll be surprised. I do have a bucket list mixed with a to-do list. And yeah, I will be surprised. It's not a short one. It's quite a long one. Maybe very trivial. Maybe like I just now was the pioneer in getting my classmates together. The first time ever in 57 years, we had a school get-together in Dehradun. People staying in the town never had met up. So I made it happen. So that's what I want to do. I want to spend time with each relative, friend of mine, spend a day at least with everyone so that we talk, think of the old and share something which I may not have shared. That is the one. Plus, yes, I have my sorries to say, and there are a few places I want to maybe still visit and share with someone. Like, for example, I may have gone to, for example, an island called Seychelles, which was very good. And I've been happy telling people. So I had made one of my nephew and his wife on honeymoon to go there. Then I took my wife there. I took my friends there. So there are more people I want to share what I liked with other people. So that's my bucket list also. So that's it. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. I know you for being the charmer in the room. I know when you walk into the room, you change the energies of the room, and I have never ever seen you in a sad, depressed, or negative state of mind. What is it that you do every day that keeps you in such a positive frame of mind, or is it something you were just born with?
I think about more than 50% was maybe I was born with to be positive. Then I'm using the same word again. I look at everything in a lighter vein. For example, if I've seen, which will make me sad on the roadside, someone who's begging for alms or someone who's being just troubled because of a knockdown, I always feel like stopping and helping those others. So I think the ability to help others is what has kept me. I may not be able to help everyone maybe with finance or with a lot of goodies, but yes, giving them time. I like to give time to others. And I think this is what has been keeping me going, that I like to share time. That is the most valuable thing we can give to each other, like today. I mean, I've had 3 meetings and I'm enjoying giving time to you because you have given me so much time. This is what people forget, that the most expensive thing to give people is time, because if you can't give it now, it is already history. It'll be a problem. Yeah.
Amazing. I think you are being called again and again for a meeting.
Yeah,
so I will not take up any more of your time. Thank you. That was a really inspiring conversation. And bye, Chad. Take care.